Good afternoon and welcome to the Peachy Comeback. My name's Abby. I am talking with my sister Stacey today, and this is a channel where we talk about all things breast cancer. And my golden doodle Murphy also participates. Today, Stacey, I asked you to come onto the show because I wanted to kind of talk through what your role was as chief caretaker for me. Obviously, my husband Clark was super involved, but like you were a close second. You were there every step of the way, which I thank you for, by the way.
You're welcome.
Well done.
You're welcome.
But when I think about other people, you know, going through this diagnosis today, tomorrow, and how important their team of people around them are, like you're the first person that comes to mind. So we did a bunch of stuff together during the whole process. What are some of your highlight memories of just making the best of kind of a tough situation?
You know, it's hard to call this a highlight, but I think the whole getting your head shaved.
Oh gosh, yes.
So let's just talk about that. You go ahead.
Well, and so there's cold capping out there. Like there are avenues and ways that you can preserve your hair, keep your hair. I have a good friend going through the same treatment actually right now, and she did cold capping and she kept her hair. That was not for me, mostly because I have thin hair and I was really concerned about having like 5 sprigs. You know what I mean? Like a comb over situation. Yeah. So I knew early on, I'm like, as soon as my hair starts to release, I'm going to shave it. And for me, my hair released about 2 weeks after my first chemo infusion. I think it can vary, but that's what it did for me. I was at work and it just started to come out. Yeah. So I remember thinking, okay, this is not something I can ask my husband to do because I'm like, that's not going to be right. So I called you and you were like, yep, absolutely. I'm there with you. And I didn't have, my stylist had moved away. I'm relatively new to Cartersville. So I petitioned Clark's hairstylist. Her name was Tammy. And to this day, I think about what a positive impact she had by just doing me that kind service. Yeah. I texted her. I said, hi, I don't know you, but you cut my husband's hair. Would you please shave my head? Yeah. She's like, sure, come on down.
Yeah. And I think she was the perfect, because she actually did my hair when I first moved to Cartersville, funny enough, for several years. And she's the perfect temperament to do a thing like that, because she wasn't going to coddle you or just make you emotional and hug you, but she was great, very like emotionally in tune. But she was like, let's get it done. Sit down. We're good. We'll have this done no time. Don't worry. It's all good. And she was very businesslike. And I think it was exactly what you needed, because there was no time for emotional lulls with her.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when she told me to sit down, it was in the very first chair of the hair salon.
Yes, it was.
We walked in and
check-in desk, and then Abby's chair with a big mirror, a huge mirror.
And I'm like, we're going to go to like a back closet, somewhere tucked around the corner.
Tasteful.
No.
And
so, she was phenomenal. She did a great job. I just remember laughing probably more than I should. I felt like people around me were probably like, this lady is medicated or going through something, which was true. But yeah, I just remember, and it was just, it didn't happen quick enough. I felt like it just took too long. I had weird patches that started to come through as she shaved. Yeah. For me, I remember asking you, so I had brought my halo with me, which if anybody's going through this experience, I highly recommend a halo. It's just a half piece of hair that you cover with a beanie, and it makes you have the effective hair, and it feels good. It's light, it's comfortable. So when she got done shaving, I was like, okay, give me my halo, give me my halo. So you gave me my halo, and she put my halo on before I had the beanie.
Without the beanie.
So
it was not a good look. It was sort of like a
Friar Tuck in chair number 1.
Exactly.
It was horrible.
It was bad.
Then you gave me the beanie.
And so I just had to look away because I was laughing and shaking, wiping my tears because it was hilarious, because it was terrible. But it was hilarious because you're sitting there, shiny bald up here with this long strings of hair. And I was like, oh, dear God, please put something on top of her head. So I was laughing. Even though it's kind of like laugh or cry, we chose to laugh. It was hysterical but terrible all at the same time. Yeah. And the beanie, though, made it all better. The beanie was great. It was very cute. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And it got me feeling right back to myself. So that's something, and I can try to put the link. I don't remember where I bought it, but it was very inexpensive. And it was really my most favorite thing to wear. When I did wear a hairpiece, that's what I wore. Yeah.
And it looked so good. I mean, I remember looking really good.
But you said something that you said it was a moment to laugh or cry.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this journey, especially in the beginning, is full of those moments. Like where you're going through stuff and you can either have a decision to laugh or cry.
Well, and I think for us, we cried. Like our first response was panic, lots of fear, and then tears, and then some good news. And then from that moment on, okay, here's our plan of action. Then it's like, let's get busy working. And there was no time for tears to me from that moment on. But
Yeah. No, I love it. I think the other fun thing, you kept me really busy before I started treatment, because there's a waiting period. You're in a holding pattern a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember we did a lot of shopping.
Yep.
And specifically, I remember the Christmas. I told you I don't want to have a depressing house at Christmas. I knew I was going to be feeling like trash around the holidays.
You were starting treatment in November
16th. Yeah.
Went to Hobby Lobby. I remember it well. Yeah.
And you said, we're going to do it. We're going to do it upright.
And we got everything bright. Like there was no, pretty subtle neutrals. It was like a little bit on the loud side. We had 2 carts full of everything. Colored ornaments, colored lights, just
new trees.
Oh yeah. New trees for like 4, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll buy this cart. You buy that cart. Nobody will ever know. It's totally fine. It was great. It was a good moment.
It was
Came
good.
home and then you decorated it.
Yeah. It was great.
It was good.
What would be one piece of advice you would give to someone who's about to start taking care of somebody going through this journey?
Probably, I think it's a no-brainer. I think whenever you love someone and you are, mercifully in close proximity to them in terms of where you live, I think it's a no-brainer. I think probably the biggest piece of advice that I would say is to incorporate your friends, because I know that y'all hadn't been in Cartersville as long as we had at the time. And so I literally called, emailed, texted, I had so many people around me, and I said, hey, look, can we help get a meal train up for Abby? And they're like, absolutely. Because people usually are just dying to help somebody. They love it. And so that's the biggest thing. And you had meals for, I don't know, it was several months.
It was months, yeah.
And we had people even like from our childhood that would send a meal or send, a gift card. Like it was a crazy thing. So I would just say, give people an opportunity to help and ask your friends, because one person can't do it all. But normally there's a village of people behind you and beside you that really want to contribute and help, and it helps share the load.
And I think for the person going through the diagnosis, the same. Like, be able to be helped. Like, let yourself be helped.
Right.
Like, if you're independent, if you're used to doing everything for yourself, it's the time to say, I need help.
Yeah.
Like, I need to, to be dependent on other people.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity to be vulnerable and to be humbled, to meet other people.
Yeah. For sure.
You made a decision to step away from some of your community service commitments that you had made right around whenever I got diagnosed, which was very sacrificial. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So kind. But what led you to make that kind of decision?
I mean, just because I can't handle but so many things. I mean, that's sort of I guess maybe a weakness of mine. I've got a friend, Heather, who literally, the girl can do 10 things well, and I'm always jealous of her. Not really, but I am. She puts me to shame. And so I think just because I knew that I had 4 kids at home, I had a husband, I had you. It was just a matter of I can't do but so many things. And so it was just a way to, I don't think that it's, it's not a good thing to go back on what you said you're going to do. But these commitments that I had were going to be a direct, conflict into being able to be available to you. And so for me, it's like whenever you've got kids and you're going different directions and you've got one that gets sick with the flu, it's like a permission to say no to everything. Mm-hmm. And that to me is great, because it frees you up to do the things that are the most important to you. It's kind of like your most primary responsibilities, And so I think for me, it was not a hard decision, and it was because I'm not able to multitask very well. I just literally, it was either that or I was going to feel spread in too many directions. I think pulled in too many different directions. And so that's really just because I'm not capable to do a whole lot at one time, basically. Yeah.
Well, but your availability, though, it was instrumental.
And I wanted to be on call, at any moment, for anything, big or little.
Yeah. A walk.
Nothing was more important than being like, yep, I'll be there, or yep, I'll go get that for you. Nothing trumps that to me.
Tux pads. I remember being like, can you get me some?
Yes.
All sorts of things.
Crazy things.
The list is endless.
Yes.
That's something, and we don't have to talk about that now, but I do want to talk about getting ready because that's so
Yeah.
important, like getting ready for your treatment, and just the things we did at the house, and equipment and things like Tux pads and
we bought you
medication.
I got Brad from the office to get you like a big stack of like barf bags,
Barf
disposable
bags.
barf bags, because we don't know what's coming, and we're not what we need. We're gonna have everything we need without question, if possible. So little random things, but.
Well, I can't thank you enough for everything that you did, and I think if someone, like I said, hundreds of thousands of women are facing this diagnosis every day. So I think having somebody in their corner, if you don't have anybody in your corner, you and I can volunteer to be in their corner for them.
Absolutely.
So that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I think, Stacey, you did a good job. I think I'll ask you to come back.
Sure.
But anyway, everybody have a good day. Thanks for listening. This is the Peachy Comeback.